back, and we are doing Resers now.
Yep.
And we're gonna start off with the beautiful, the luscious Reva, aka a nun, riding a horse.
Yep.
Apparently, a little off topic. I've heard there's been issues with this model. I feel like, oh, it's totally off scale or something like that.
There's people who think the horse is too small.
Yeah.
For the most part, if you just think of it as being Reva, a relatively lithe woman riding a relatively small horse, it's not a big deal.
Yeah. It's just the
but
internet.
she's not on a big war horse or workhorse.
McCabe size horse.
Right, McCabe is basically on a horse that is meant for that heavy riding. Hers is powered by the fact that her magic is it's even got glowing red eyes.
I know.
Like, this horse is not natural.
It's a nightmare.
Not quite, but
I know,
yeah.
but just like the red eyes. Alright, so...
Yeah, you've got Reva and her revenants.
So, this is another really cool looking master. We've got Reva. She's a living master, and she gets the tag word revenants. So her defense is 5, willpower is 7,
Yeah.
13 wounds, a walk of 5, a charge of 10, and a height of 3, which is pretty standard for somebody riding a horse.
Yes.
So one of her first abilities...
And cash of 4.
And a cash of 4, yes, we forgot to say the cash of 4. And one of her abilities is Strength of the Fallen.
Yeah, that's the key ability.
When performing an attack and this model is not engaged, this model may draw a line of sight and measure range for cast actions from corpse markers within 18 and line of sight. This ability is ignored when determining engagements. So, very similar to like Rasputina and her Ice Mirrors. I think this is a good time we should go into her totems because that is very important.
Well, yes,
so?
well actually, we get into, let's at least finish the front.
Okay, let's just... Okay.
So, she is unimpeded. Again, a lot of horsemen have that.
Yeah.
Forgotten Dead. At the start of this model's activation, it may discard one card and summon a corpse candle within 8 inches in line of sight. Mm-hmm. Then the Final Veil. When another non-peon model is killed within 8 inches, this model heals 1 damage. Mm-hmm. So non-peons can heal her.
Yeah.
Now what is a corpse candle? And that's her totem.
Her totem, which she can have, it's a peon undead totem. It's rare 2.
Yeah, rare 2.
Spirit and Revenant.
And so it costs 2 soul stones for hiring purposes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's see. There we go. Reva's Omens. This model may not be hired and may only be summoned by Reva. When this model is summoned, sacrifice all other non-corpse candle totems. So if she does grab, say, the Malifaux Child or the Graveyard Spirit, when she summons a corpse candle, they're...
Yeah.
And honestly, you don't want those because the corpse candles are pretty sweet.
I mean, it's almost a necessity for her. Well, because she can summon it. It's a necessity
and
for
so
her crew.
The big thing... friendly models may count this model as a corpse marker while performing actions that do not summon models. If the action discards the corpse marker, sacrifice this model. Mm-hmm. And here's the funny thing, they are undead. So, for example, Reva and her henchmen, their attacks, they have a trigger to deal more damage if you discard corpse markers. Mm-hmm. Which means you could target a corpse candle, discard it, and it will leave a real corpse marker behind.
Oh!
Or no, I'm sorry, it is sacrificed. Never mind.
Sacrifice it doesn't drop the corpse marker.
Sacrificed means you won't drop it. Never mind. Had that a little wrong. And so that's the key, is that they can be used as corpse markers. We'll get into exactly what they do later.
Yeah.
But that's Reva can use them. And also remember, mindless zombies work about the same way. Yeah. Since they count as corpse markers, she can use them as a corpse marker to cast through.
And then Wahaha would work for
Exactly. Now, it'll compete for upgrade slots on Reva when we look at her upgrades, but Mwahaha, or the fact that the Emissary. The Emissary has an ability to summon 2 shards. Yes. And then a mindless zombie is left behind next to them when they're removed. Yes. So that's another one people have talked about, a good way to get extra corpse markers.
Yeah. Reva was another one that was I didn't get a chance to really look at.
Yeah, so we did the front of her card. She's got that Forgotten Dead to summon corpse candles, cast through corpse markers and corpse candles, and Final Veil to do a little bit of healing. Yeah. She also has Ethereal Raping.
It's cast of 6 with a built-in crow.
That's her main attack.
It's resist either defense or willpower.
Yeah, so you choose.
And it's range 3. Target suffers
So close 3.
close 3. Target suffers 3, 4, 5. This model chooses if the attack action is resisted by defensible power. But the really cool thing about this, she can do it.
Since it's a cast
So
action.
cast action, she can do it through a corpse marker. So in theory, let's say for example, I have a corpse marker or a corpse candle, and I have a 10th Underbrother right there. She can cast through that corpse candle and attack that 10th Underbrother.
And so here's a key thing to remember. So she can make attacks that are casting through that.
Yes.
So for example, her other attack action is a 0 action life drain, and its range is also 3, but without the close symbol. So it does it, and so it's just good to know that both of her attack actions on her main card can be made through them. Although her tactical actions below, she needs normal line of sight and range.
Yeah.
Those are not through those.
So her first attack of so back
And that's
to
the Ethereal Reaping.
so the triggers for Ethereal Reaping, which is the one that has the built-in chrome. Before flipping damage, discard a corpse marker within 3 of the target to deal +1 damage. So it's kind of like a pseudo critical strike, except you can't stack it.
Right, it's only +1,
Yeah.
and you have to discard a corpse marker.
Yeah, so you can make the damage up to 4, 5, 6.
But minimum damage 4, it could guarantee certain models die.
Yeah.
So that's always solid.
And then there's Corpse Calling. After damaging, push the target 3 inches towards a corpse marker within line of sight.
So it could be the very same corpse model you're attacking out of,
And
and
then
you push them closer.
Yeah. And Stolen Vitality. After damaging an enemy, this model heals 2 damage. Oh my god, she's got so much built... Oh, well, it's not built in. Or so much healing.
And
to
that's
her.
the thing, is you look, she's only defense 5, and she doesn't have, like, hard or impossible to wound. So yeah,
Well,
her
like the
13
very-
wounds is most of what she's relying on, unless she can heal.
Yeah.
Which is...
And then her last attack action, which is a 0,
0.
Drain Life, casting 6 with a crow. You need a target number of 10 with a crow and a books.
So you need a minimum of 4 with a tome.
Yes. Target enemy model suffers an amount of damage equal to the amount by which this model's final duel total exceeds the target's up to a maximum of 5. So it's very similar. So, for example, let's say I'm resisting, and you flipped a...
It's one of those, it's just
it's
kind of
really
a weird moment.
The numbers, yeah.
So actually, the crazy thing is that if you tie them, you will technically succeed in an attack that will deal 0 damage because you beat them by 0. However, well, it's one of those weird moments that it's just a little extra something. It's hard to.
So in theory, she
guarantee.
has up to possibly 4 attack actions around.
Right, there's her 3 regular AP, and then Life Drain if that manages to go off, which is anywhere from 0 to 5 damage.
Life Drain can be. I think Life Drain is very situational, but I mean it's an additional attack. So.
It's very swingy, but imagine if they flipped the Black Joker,
Joker
against that. That's where it just
5
is
damage, like.
Yeah.
And then we're going into her tactical
So
actions.
tactical actions. Her
Which
other
is
0.
Death Shroud, casting of 6 with the crows built in, target number 14 with the crows. Place this model into base contact with target course marker regardless of line of sight. If this happens, this model counts as being in soft cover while in base contact with the target until the end of turn.
And this is range 5. So
Range
it's a
5.
corpse marker within 5 inches.
So you can get a 5-inch...
She gets a place, and she gets soft cover for the rest of the turn.
Okay. Oh, nifty, yeah. Right.
Then if you get a second crow, you get rear up.
After succeeding the target, after completing the placement, enemy models within 3 must make a target number 13 willpower or target number 13 defense duel or suffer 2 damage.
Right, so she can rear up and scare everyone for 2 damage. Because the horse just smacks them around, I guess.
Kick somebody in the face.
So that's a 0. You can do that once per turn instead of Life Drain. Which, let's face it, that's probably the better option.
Yeah.
Life Drain's just that little extra in case there's nothing.
Yeah. And then look on my works. Casting 6, need target number 12, range 5. Place a scheme marker in base contact with target course marker. Discard the course marker, and then if you get 2 crows and despair after succeeding, take this action again. Okay, I'm.
So it's kind of weird. So she likes having corpse markers, but she can target those corpse markers and turn them into scheme
And they
markers.
are a resource for her.
And so that's a very, again, we go to this a lot, but things along the lines of, you charged your model in, they managed to kill it, it drops corpse markers, Reva activates, she makes a couple attacks through it, then she turns it into a scheme marker, and it's the end of the turn, she says plant explosives.
Yeah.
Like she has that option to turn it into a scheme marker when you need it.
Everyone's jealous of 10 Thunders, like the ability to launching 10 scheme markers in your face.
Oof, yeah.
So now we'll go into our upgrades and discuss.
Yeah.
Or well, actually, let's finish the corpse candle.
We can do the corpse candle.
So we gave you guys some of the base abilities, and then the stat line of them is atrocious. I mean, it's bad. I
think it's worse than Mindless Zombies.
I know. I was I when I read this, I almost projectile vomited at how bad this stat line is. I thought zombies were bad, but okay. So defense 2, a willpower of 2, 2 wounds, a walk of 4, a charge of 0, and a height of 2.
And here's the crazy thing, that 2 wounds,
garbage.
They don't even have incorporeal. But this is an actual, they have these little ghosts.
Yeah,
but this is an actual corpse being drug along by said ghosts.
Yes, I mean, if I look at this thing wrong, it's going to die.
It's got, I mean, all you have to do is hit it. Most things have minimum damage 2. Very few have 1.
Yeah.
I mean, a slurred being one of the...
or giving it poison and killing at the end of the turn.
Right. Now, here's the great thing, is they are undead.
Yeah.
So you don't
do
care?
They do drop a corpse marker. Yeah.
Because, Reva activates. She discards a card, she drops that corpse candle.
Mm-hmm.
Now she's got something to cast through, she does that if she needs to.
Mm-hmm.
Your opponent goes, they're like, I don't want that thing walking around, they kill it, now you've got a corpse marker there. I mean, it just makes the corpse marker less mobile.
Very similar to how people play Mindless Zombies when they literally they use speed bumps.
It's a little more of activation control and speed bumps, and it's going to be a corpse marker for me either way, whether you kill it or not.
Yeah.
So
it's not a big deal if they kill it.
Yeah.
So we went over the front of the cards. So now let's look at this thing's attack actions. All right. It has Possessed, Flailing, Melee 4, Resist Defense, a range 1-inch threat. Target model suffers 1, 2, 3 damage.
I've seen worse.
It's not the worst, but still.
So it's definitely not going to be doing a whole lot attack-wise.
It's got light.
That's
tactical actions where it's at.
Yeah.
One tactical action, light the way. Push all corpse markers within 3 of this model up to 3 inches in any direction.
So you could walk this thing up to a corpse marker, and then one action to push that corpse marker.
So it allows you
position.
to move those corpse markers.
So that's her main way of being able to move corpse markers.
Oh my God.
This thing could walk into where a bunch of stuff killed each other.
I'm thinking Mortimer might be standard in this.
His ability to make them is okay. I don't know. I don't know enough about Reva. How much does she really need them? I think her ability to summon corpse candles, it's when she activates, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I believe her ability to drop them when she activates means she's probably going to have enough that she doesn't need Mortimer making extras.
Yeah.
Actually, if anything, instead of Mortimer, I think the Emissary. I think the Emissary would be more of an auto-include than him.
Okay. Well, we'll talk more about strategy.
We'll get into there later, but...
Yeah. So we did Light the Way, and the Essen remains. Kill this model and choose one of the following. Ancestral Visage. Target friendly model within 6 gains the following condition until the start of the next activation. Disguise. This model may not be target of... charge action.
It can just... And here's the key thing. It doesn't sacrifice, it
kills. So you still get a corpse marker.
Leaves a corpse marker, and then it decides, you gain disguise. So it could disguise Reva.
Yeah.
And they're getting awful close with that, threat range 12. Or I'm thinking your new horseman we'll get to eventually.
Yeah.
That 10 Thunder horseman with a threat range of 12. Man, he's getting awful close. Sacrifice corpse candle, Reva's disguised.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of here. It at least would stop things from supercharging.
Yeah.
The other options?
Death Omens. Target any model within 6 must discard a card or gain the following condition until interfered. Death Omen. Attack actions targeting this model gain plus.
So an enemy model has to discard a card or get
guys, there's no resist to this. It just happens.
Your only option is to discard a card.
Yes,
it happens unless you discard a card.
Yeah, but still, there's no casting, there's no black joker.
That's your only choice.
Yeah. Target friendly model with an 8 may draw a card and then discard a card. The target may activate immediately after this current activation ends as a chain activation.
So the Corpse Candle could say, I'm going to pop myself, you draw and discard, right? It was, draw and discard, and then you immediately activate. Honestly, I'm not... I mean, the chain activation's just a choice. You might really just need to cycle cards.
Yes.
So, I don't see...
May chain, right?
Yes, or, May, yes.
May, okay. So...
It's almost always May for those. Okay. So, right. And that's another, you don't have to, but if you're like, hey, I'd like to try to draw a card and activate this model. Well, the Corpse Candle can say, sure, let's try to cycle cards, chain activate that model for that alpha. Don't know how useful that whole Essence Remains will be, but it's nice to have.
Yeah.
It gives them a little more depth than just being a walking corpse. Okay, so that covers Reva and her totem, so we get into her upgrades. Alright, Revenant upgrades.
Ooh. So, how many does she have?
So she has her 4.
Okay.
The 2 limited, then Vincent, and the Soulbound are for her other guys. So a lot of the Revenant minions all use the Soulbound upgrades to do things. Okay. We'll have to look exactly. So for hers, we'll start with her limited. The first limited is Guise of Death.
Okay.
This model may benefit from Strength of the Fallen ability even while engaged. So engaging her won't help you. She can still attack models as long as she can draw. She's a height 3 model.
It's an ability Rasputin wish she had, right?
Basically. Right, so, and I mean, if I'm engaged with you, I can attack you. The key is that I can go attack somebody else.
Yeah.
So you can't send some little tiny thing that's no big deal up
I'm going to send my Tengu. Aha, I'm engaged with you.
Right, I engaged you with a Tengu. You can't attack those other guys. She's like, yes, I can, and have something else take care of the Tengu.
Yeah.
Then she also has the Ever-Burning Candle. After determining initiative, this model may summon a Corpse Candle on the enemy half of the board, but not within 8 inches of any of your models.
After turning initiative in first turn. So you would get, in essence, a free Corpse Candle on your opposing side of the field.
Right. So you pay 1 Soul Stone. You have that engagement. You can ignore engagement for your Guise of Death. And then, yes, you get a free Corpse Candle on the enemy half of the board.
Okay. It wasn't until that. I think that might be... Wow. Okay, let's read the other ones before I...
Yeah, so that's the first one.
Yeah.
And here's the other limited, so you only get 1 of these. It gives her regeneration +1, just flat out regeneration.
Okay.
And gains the following trigger to your Ethereal Reaping. So her main melee attack gains the Screaming Death. After succeeding against an enemy model, instead of dealing damage, this model takes a charge action against a different target. The charge may be taken while this model is engaged and ignores line of sight terrain and other models during the move. This may only be taken once per activation. So Guise of Death, they're both... It's hard to tell what will be the most useful.
My personal opinion, this is just me, I think I would probably take Guise of Death. Just that free corpse counter, getting that corpse counter, giving that Corpse Candle up ahead, really up forward in position ahead of time.
The thing is, it can't be within 8 inches of your model, of one of your models, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be a good distance away, potentially, and she already summons them 8 inches out from herself. Yeah, I don't know.
It's another model for...
And true. That can be your first activation, or force your enemy to deal with it.
Yeah, and if they kill it, alright, I have a corpse marker across the board.
Whereas Beyond Death, regeneration 1.
Which is good, yeah. That's what.
And then it's her Ethereal Reaping, so... Yeah, it can give her basically the equivalent to 2 AP. You trade 1 AP on this attack to charge a new model and get 2 attacks from that charge.
I think it's just more of a different playstyle.
Yes, and that's Beyond Death will definitely be for that. it's almost a little more like how Masaki jumps around to
Yeah,
different.
a very
The
hyper-
fact that she can ignore everybody and just, I'm just going to charge.
And also that jumping around, she's going to need that regeneration one.
Right, and well, depending, exactly how aggressive you are with her.
Yeah.
So those are her two limited. You get to pick one.
So now we'll go into Bloodmark.
Yes.
Okay. This model gains the following tactical action. 1. Bloodmark. A casting of 6 with a crow built in. Need to meet a target number of 12. Its range is 10. Target other friendly model that has not already targeted by this action this turn is pushed up to 5 in any direction. Then the target...
If the target
is a
is...
spirit or revenant, it may take a 0 action. And then it has a trigger with a Rams, the Reaping. After succeeding, the target gains the following condition until the start of the next activation. Death follows. Death follows. This model counts as a course marker for the purpose of Strength of the Fallen ability.
So, you get to push a model.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a spirit or a revenant, it takes a 0 action. Then if you get a Rams, it counts as a corpse marker. And that takes Reva a 1 action to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's important to look at her shield bearers have a really awesome 0 action.
The defense one.
Defense or plus to damage. Plus flips to damage. So she could, and a lot of the spirits have really good 0 actions to give buffs or debuffs.
Mm-hmm.
That one's interesting. I really don't know the fact that she has to spend an AP to do it.
Also, I'm thinking me and Casey, Rezzers is between the two of us, is probably our least known faction.
Yes, although that's the other. As far as Rezzers, as far as I know, they don't have a lot of pushes.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that Reva, she can only do it once per model, but she can push friendly models 5 inches. That seems like it could be pretty strong.
You could spend 1 turn positioning all your models where they need to be. And Reva's not a summoner, so it's like...
Right. I mean, she could spend the first turn pushing her shield bearers up into position while having them take their 0s so they boost their defense.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. And so then the other is her Litany of the Fallen.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. And is that built in with the crow? Okay, so she has a built-in crow. It gives her... So it's 2 soulstone upgrades. All the others are 1.
Okay.
This is her first 2. Her Ethereal Reaping gains Death Touches All. Damage from this attack may not be reduced. So that's... Prevented is different. So Soulstone Prevention, Arcane Shield. But anything else that reduces damage... So this includes armor.
Yeah.
And she has this trigger built in. So you have to pick. She can't use her other triggers to increase the damage or push things around or heal, but she can just ignore armor on everything automatically.
That makes her so much... for me, that's probably one that I would probably take every single game.
Me, it might depend what my opponent is declaring, because, Arcanists, lots of armor there, probably worth taking, but, if it turns out to be Marcus, no armor, kind of... But... Yeah, so if it's one that you think there's a good chance of armor, heck, even if it's simply outcast and you're like, they're probably going to have Lazarus because they're outcasts, then, yeah.
Or something with armor. Yeah, it's... Well, I mean, that actually, you are spending 2 soulstones, and if you're not using it...
That's the thing. It's potentially 2 wasted soulstones.
So if you're playing against, Gremlins, it's like, oh, well...
Right, Gremlins, they basically have to take Sparks and the new... mechanical pork chop if they're going to have armor.
And then their mechanical dudes that they have or something like that. And
there's
the
a few,
gold.
right? The new survivors.
There's a few.
There's a few. Everybody has some armor, but
yeah.
you're probably not going to see it against most.
You're going to see that often, yeah. So now we'll go back.
That covers her and her upgrades.
So let's go back to Reva and the Corpse Candles. I see her as she's a very, very Rasputina-esque, where you're going to want... But see, the only thing I'm kind of a little... is the corpses. Gain that resource. Because she wants a lot of corpse counters. Well, not a lot, but she needs corpse counters in key positions.
Well, honestly, when I look at a lot of her crew, and that's where this Bloodmark is potentially really useful, because if you need a 6, if it happens to be a ram, she could push somebody forward, especially if it's. Here's the thing. I think everything she takes is going to be living or undead. Everything is going to drop a corpse marker in her list.
Yes.
And if she were to take one of her shield bearers and she throws on the reaping, makes them count, and she pushes them forward 5 inches, they're right in the enemy's face, assuming they get into the enemy's face.
And if they're killed,
They have to. You're right. They have to either kill them, or they're going to count anyway, or they have to move away from them.
Yeah.
And I think the key there will be forcing your enemy into those positions where it's like, well, shit, I need to go where those corpse candles are, where those corpse markers
I think,
are.
I think.
And if I go there, she's gonna rip me up.
If you're doing something like informants, turf war, I think those would probably be a good choice. Because they're like, okay, I'm going to throw my corpse candle right by that turf marker. Okay, you kill my corpse candle, but now I have a corpse.
If there are key points that they have to interact with,
yeah,
you can ensure that those points are covered.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the thing, is, of course, knowing her strengths and versus weaknesses.
Yeah.
And, of course, in Resers, you're also spoiled for, what's the table quarters? Interference in the type, because just so many other summoners that are...
I don't think she would be a good choice for interference and stuff like that.
She's not the best choice, I'd say.
Yeah.
You know, seeing as you have a couple summoners that can do the job better.
Yeah.
Of course, you're also Resers, so you have a couple henchmen who could potentially summon for you instead.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if we're missing anything. I mean, she's compared to the talking about.
She's a pretty straightforward beater with some good flexibility.
I was like comparing to Nelly. I feel like there was so much more to talk about.
Well, a lot of that I think comes in with some of her other stuff too.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll jump into
her henchmen.